All right, it's Tuesday, September 10th, just following up on the SPY. After buying some puts here on bar number three as it was heading lower, I was able to scale out and set up a no-risk trade. Then price seemed to pause a little bit, but it only came up, a little bit nowhere near the midpoint of the first bar. And now we have the big red bar to the downside. So it looks like, at least at the moment, we should now come down and take out our next target, which is the intraday low. At that point, we see at that inflection point, can we get to the pre-market lows? And what we're still hoping for is an inside bar failure that, is below the open of today and took out the high the previous day, but opening price action started down. So we're looking for it to kind of follow through in a chain reaction now, take out the intraday lows, maybe get to the halfway point of that inside bar from yesterday, get to the lows yesterday, and ultimately the lows of the week. And that's still the context in play, is this big red weekly bar, even though we're starting up for the first 2 days of the week, to eventually move to those lows at some point this week to test that. You never know for sure. As the longer the week goes on, if we can stay above that weekly open, then we negate that view. But at least early in the week, we still have plenty of time to get there. We're still potentially failing on the inside bar to the upside, moving lower, and now we have our second push down, which at least should take out the intraday low here. And then at that point, you watch 15-minute price action at the inflection point to see if we follow through strongly to the pre-market lows, which are down here. And then ultimately yesterday's lows and ultimately the weekly lows. You just have to kind of watch price action. But at least for now, it's kind of a whole no-risk scenario. Bought the 552 put, 629, scaled out at 750 to set up a no-risk trade. After that little pullback and now resumption back down, they're up to 745 here, again, close to where you exited the first time. So it's all at no risk. If this wants to come back to the break-even price, then you'll have a small gain on the trade. You can take a base hit gain here if you don't want to, wait and see what happens as price heads lower. But clearly this is the bias. Intraday structure is still holding down. There we go, taking out the intraday lows. This is now you watch the inflection point. I can sit here and do that just for fun. The options are all the way up to 790 now that you bought at 629. So that's moving well, up to over 8. So anyway, this is now, what you're expecting. Let's see, it should, given that we're flying through that intraday low, let's see if we get to this low. That should be a potential pause area. As always, it's the halfway point of the prior day. So we really got to get through that to get to the lows of the prior day and the lows of those bigger targets, but we'll just have to watch price action and see what happens. Any orderly pause would be normal and you'd expect lower. So just kind of following up on the SPY this morning. Good trade buying the puts here really on bar number three and then patiently watching it head lower, at least this morning.